The biggest lie that Donald Trump's administration tells is that they are the most transparent in history. You hear Carolyn Levitt say this a lot, that because Donald Trump and her respond to a lot of questions, that they are answering them. But those are two different things. When Carolyn Levitt today detailed what happened with Donald Trump's MRI, she wasn't giving us the answer we wanted or needed. We need to know more about Donald Trump's cognitive decline, and Carolyn Levitt didn't tell us that. So we won't stop talking about it, and neither will an ex-White House doctor who is going public with this whole phony mess. We're going to get into it all, but before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button because it goes a long way in supporting our work. Now, before we get into what this former White House doctor said, I want to start with where it all began, and that was Tim Walz's call out of Donald Trump's declining mental state.
Well, here we got a guy on Thanksgiving where we spent time with our families, we ate, we played Yahtzee, we cheered for football or whatever. This guy is apparently in a room ranting about everything else. This is not normal behavior. It is not healthy. And presidents throughout time have released a couple things. They've released their tax returns, not Donald Trump, and they've released their medical records, not Donald Trump. And look, the MRI is one thing, but I think what's most concerning about this is, as your viewers out there are listening, has anyone in the history of the world ever have an MRI assigned to them and have no idea what it was for, as he says? So look, it's clear the president's fading physically. I think the mental capacity, again, ranting, crazily at midnight on Thanksgiving about everything else, there's reasons for us to be concerned. This is a guy that randomly says the airspace over Venezuela is closed. He's ruminating on if you could win a nuclear war. Look, this is a serious position. It's the most powerful position in the world. And we have someone at midnight throwing around slurs that demonize our children. And at the same time, he's not solving any of the problems. So I'm deeply concerned that he is incapable of doing the job.
I need Tim Walz to say that these guys are weird and brain broken every single day of the week and twice on Sunday, because it's true. Donald Trump is in obvious cognitive and physical decline, and the mainstream media has given it none of the coverage that it deserves. This, along with everything that happens on a daily basis in Donald Trump's administration, is a scandal like we've never seen before, and it is being covered up like we've never seen before, and it is being covered up badly. It's not just Donald Trump's hands that have blotched makeup on them. The phony cover-up with Donald Trump's cognitive decline is just as embarrassing and obvious. And it actually, much like that makeup, which is just splotched on, brings more attention to the fact. When Carolyn Levitt tries to deny that Donald Trump isn't becoming weaker every day, that he isn't scheduling fewer events, that he's not sleeping in and going to bed early and hobbling around and slurring through speeches, she is only making us want to know, well, what is Donald Trump covering up? And to try to distract a little bit, she said that she would give us some information about the MRI. I still don't believe it's the real information, neither does the former White House doctor, but what she said is important before we get to his real assessment.
He would release the results of his MRI. Is that happening right now?
It is happening right now. As part of, and this is a summary from the president's physician, and we will release it right now. I think my team has it teed up for all of you. I'll read it for you, and then you'll get it physically as well. As part of President Trump's comprehensive executive physical, advanced imaging was performed because men in his age group benefit from a thorough evaluation of cardiovascular and abdominal health. The purpose of this imaging is preventative, to identify any issues early, confirm overall health, and ensure the president maintains long-term vitality and function. President Trump's cardiovascular imaging was perfectly normal. No evidence of arterial narrowing impairing blood flow or abnormalities in the heart or major vessels. The heart chambers are normal in size, the vessel walls appear smooth and healthy, and there are no signs of inflammation or clotting. Overall, his cardiovascular system shows excellent health. His abdominal imaging is also perfectly normal. All major organs appear very healthy and well perfused.
Okay, so Caroline says, it's all fine, it's all good, look over there, move on, please stop talking about this, just don't talk about it. Please don't talk about it. Because we can trust you, right, Carolyn? We can, I'm getting a call. We can't trust Carolyn Levitt? We've never been able to trust, never ever have. Why would we trust Carolyn Levitt? Because some doctor who's a stooge for Trump signed some fake letter? No. Give me documentation. Give me images. I want to see it all. Release the files. Release the MRI files. I want to see them all, and so does a former White House doctor. I think this is all a little bit fishy. Disconcerting. Ex-White House cardiologist deeply skeptical of weird Trump MRI reveal. A former Bush administration cardiologist questioned the Trump administration over its report Monday that the president is in excellent health. Dr. Jonathan Reiner, the late former Vice President Dick Cheney's cardiologist for nearly 30 years, pushed back on the White House press secretary Carolyn Levitt's claims that the president, Donald Trump's MRI, was apparently preventative during an interview with CNN. Well, there really is no preventative cardiac MRI, Reiner said. This is not a standard test for, an 80-year-old man to undergo advanced imaging. Of course, the poll note was kind of a weird, defensive, evasive tone to it. First of all, this is not part of the president's comprehensive physical examination. Following 2 physical exams, the White House revealed during the summer that the president was diagnosed with chronic venous insufficiency. He had just that in April, and then he underwent some more testing in July, Reiner said. If you look at this first administration, the president, like most presidents, only underwent 1 comprehensive physical exam every year. So this comes completely off cycle. Second, it's filled with euphemisms. Again, Dr. Barbara Bell, the president's physician, states that he underwent advanced imaging. Well, what specific advanced imaging did the president have? Was it an MRI? As the president said, was it a CT scan? Did he have both? Why not just spell it out? Reiner explained how the administration could have his doctor or health official describe what happened. It's as if a patient came in for a chest x-ray, and then I only told people that the patient underwent simple radiological imaging. Just spell it out, he added. This is, again, not part of a comprehensive screening, particularly, abdominal imaging. Why would someone undergo a preventative MRI imaging or CT imaging of the abdomen? This obviously was performed in response to some clinical concern, which is fine. The MRI could have been out of a health concern, and the American people deserve to know that, Reiner explained. Things happen to people, as you know, as we all get older, and the president is almost 80. So instead of this kind of evasive, almost laughable kind of note, just spell out what happened. I hope the imaging is normal and great. That would be excellent news. But this kind of piece-by-piece, drip-by-drip release of information is disconcerting, Reiner said, and he continued to call out this administration in this clip right here.
So chronic venous insufficiency, if that is indeed what the president has, is basically a benign condition where the valves in the veins in the legs don't work so well, and fluid and blood pools in the legs, and fluid basically leaches out of the veins into the tissues. But swelling of the legs can also be caused by more significant cardiac problems. Some problems having to do with the caricature, with the character of the heart's muscle itself. And yes, you can use MRI to image the heart, to look for a thickening or stiffness or infiltrative diseases of the heart. So if his team was doing it for that reason, well, that's important to know, and that's a more significant issue than simple preventative imaging. But again, it just doesn't seem to fit with reality. And I think most physicians would basically agree that advanced imaging is not a routine part of an executive physical for a man or a woman of any age.
So yeah, of course they are trying to evade these questions. Of course they're being all coy. Of course Carolyn Levitt is saying, well, that's all you really need to know. We'll share all the important information. We'll put it in a little box right there. And maybe next time we're talking about Epstein and we don't want to be talking about Epstein, maybe then we'll let you have a little bit more information. But obviously, this is a clear cover-up. Obviously, Carolyn Levitt is a little panicked because it is not the only cover-up happening in this administration right now. Because if you go over to the Pentagon, Pete's trying to cover up his crimes and Donald Trump's crimes as well. But that is certainly not working. Also, Chris Murphy is making sure it doesn't.
From Representative Turner and other Republicans, a reluctance to take on the president right now. I think that's a shame. I think people should put the security of the country before their loyalty to the president.
So Secretary Hegseth has just posted something that I wanted to ask you about. He said, let's make one thing crystal clear. Admiral Mitch Bradley is an American hero, a true professional, and has my 100% support. I stand by him in the combat decisions he has made on the September 2nd mission and all others since. America is fortunate to have such men protecting us. When this Department of War says we have the back of our warriors, we mean it. Okay, let me just translate this into he's pinning this on Bradley. Okay, he's saying that's what that's about, right? I mean, where do you see this headed?
He is passing the buck. He sort of sees the freight train that is coming, right? That both Republicans and Democrats are coming to the conclusion that this was an illegal, wildly immoral act, and he is shifting the blame. It's the opposite of the buck stops here. And boy, it's a chilling signal to everyone in the chain of command that the Secretary of Defense does not have your back. Now, in this case, it seems likely that he actually did give the order, that he gave the order to kill everyone on that boat, and that those in the chain of command were simply following his orders. But he is basically telling everyone, all of his generals, all of the professional staff of the Department of Defense, that I'm going to save myself if things get tough. And that's just devastating for American national security.
I want to ask you about another member of the Trump administration coming under fire tonight, Senator, and that is FBI Director Kash Patel. House Democrats are investigating his use of the FBI private jet, now demanding he pay the government back after using it for what they call personal trips, which have been documented by FlightAware and others about the use of the plane, reportedly to see his girlfriend perform at a wrestling event and for hunting and golf trips. He does deny any wrongdoing, says he's restricted from commercial air travel. What do you see right now for where this is going and his leadership of the FBI?
Well, we've probably never seen an FBI director care so little about his job as Kash Patel. He does seem to be spending most of his time gallivanting around the country, visiting his girlfriend, going on golf trips with his buddies, getting as close to the MAGA celebrity world as is humanly possible. And he's racking up all these huge bills on us, the taxpayers, right? These are ordinary, average Americans, plumbers, teachers, pipe fitters who are paying the bills for his celebrity lifestyle. He could simply choose not to take these trips and to focus his time on his job, protecting the American people.
I know that it is difficult with scandal after scandal after scandal to keep up with it all, but we have to, and I can promise you we are going to be on this show. If you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, drop a blue heart in the comments because it goes a long way in supporting our work. Keep on fighting, y'all. Don't let them silence you. And until next time, I'll see you soon.